Like we got him.
Incorrect. I got him.
Well, either way, we're gonna collect this bounty. What the?
Mic test. Ooh, mic's worked, but it didn't pick up the finger snapping. Yeah, that's good. That's a good thing. Alright, give me a second, folks. Just a couple of them. Forgot to get the chat bot going. That was my goof. Guess I'll get these in. And in a minute or two, I should have got that too. In fact, I'm going to get that now. So, you know what? You folks just hang out. I will be right back. Okay. You folks been so patient. All right. Oh, how are you folks doing? I'm Cody with IronVerse Comics. I'm relatively beat. I'm pretty beat. I'm tired. I'm hurting. But I'm happy to be here. Oh, boy. So it's, I think it's Saturday. Like, I don't even know what day it is. Saturday, right? Yeah, it's Saturday. All right, good. I hope you're having a good weekend. For me, this is like the second day of work, right? So, not quite even midweek. For me, in that kind of perception. But, most folks, it's the weekend. I'm glad for it. Oh, so, why am I streaming today? That's a good question. And one hopefully I'll be able to validate, right? Um, we throw on some tunage, and we're just gonna wait for just a minute or two, see if anybody comes on in. Ooh. Alright, now we're no, no, no. There we go. Something a little jauntier. Oh, you folks didn't even hear that. Great. There you go. Alright, now we're together. Oh, okay. So, it's gonna hang for a minute, alright? Just gonna hang for just a couple. I don't know if we heard this track. Probably did, I just wasn't paying attention. There you go. Alright. So, while we're waiting for folks to come in. We officially passed the what I'm going to call lifetime earnings of the issue numbers 1 through 3 campaign. Very cool. It's just the earnings. I really would rather have had less earnings and more backers. That would have been worse for me, financially, obviously. But that would have been the preferred goal. But the fact that we got this far is excellent. Like, I for this goal, right, I had to ask. I had to ask for just basically what we made the entire length of issue number 3 going out there. That wasn't, that was ballsy. Put it kindly in my favor. That was ballsy. So the fact that it happened, and now that we've crossed that threshold by 30 and change bucks, that's pretty neat. We're gonna remain in demand until printing. My hope is I can sell a few more issues. I would love to sell out the previous 1 through 3s, and we're getting there. Most backers want that, right? So this one, there are less than 20 of these bundles left, and so if you stop by here, you haven't snagged it, you want to snag it, that's a great idea, but don't worry about it. We got time. Got all of these bundles left if you really gonna want to read them, right? Like, this is 5 of each of issues 1 through 3, so read them, even do whatever you want with them. Secondhand selling, if that's something you want to do, that could happen. Got a few of the internationals left, which is neat too. And plenty of issue 4s, right? So, the main point though is we crossed that threshold, and that is just exceedingly awesome. We've been in production since I started the campaign. It's been a little slower than I'd like. Gotta admit that. Usually it's slower than I'd like, though. That's just how it goes. But hopefully it picks up here soon. We're waiting for the money to come in, so that's going to be up to a month and a half, if I heard correctly. But supposedly it was supposed to go out this week, right? But I also never got an email from Indiegogo that I was successful, which I thought was usually a normal thing that they do. So I'll be reaching out to GoGo support here soon enough to kind of ask what the hell's going on. It said the week of, so I guess next month I'll reach out to GoGo if we haven't received our funds or I haven't received an email about it, right? Then that's what I'll do. I'll get a hold of them. Once funds are in, there's nothing slowing us down except for actually getting folks doing the work. And that can sometimes be herding cats if you've ever been an artistic project manager. But some of the fun of it too, if I'm honest. So I'm not really worried about that. Give me something a little bit different. Should be different. All right. So what was it? Number 4's goal. So my goal, the incredible goal, would be to pick up 200 more backers. If we do that, not only will we have succeeded monetarily, which is incredible, but we would have succeeded in backer total, in terms of course, gotten further along than issues 1 through 3 did. That would be great. Is that likely? I don't know. I think it's possible because nice thing about In Demand now is I can do the live streaming crowdfunding circles basically at my leisure without this big time sink demand. And so if I'm willing to keep the circus alive a little bit longer, which I think I really am, then I think that's doable. So that's the next goal I have. 200 backers is crazy though. We've picked up 107 backers those final 2 days. Just crazy. It shouldn't have been possible, but we did it. So I am exceedingly grateful for that. So that's a goal. That's a crazy goal. That's not like a gonna happen kind of goal, but it's something I'm gonna try, right? Other than that, our primary goal is to hopefully be at the printer by October. If we're at the printer, then the digitals are out. So that's the goal, is like most of this done by October. I think that's doable. We'll see. Because if we're at the printers by October, then we should ship by the beginning of next year at the latest, which I'd love to ship closer to the holidays, but that's also a nightmare, right? Both shipping prices for us, but also like getting the things there because it's so many other projects. But I don't know. That would be nice. Howdy, Mrs. H. Hope your weekend's going well. I'm beat from work, but yeah, it's going fine. Last 2 days of work have been good. I'm relaxing, talking about future goals on this, and just kind of hanging out. Welcome. I hope your weekend's going well. This one is doing what I want to do. But I'm not there yet, and I got work tomorrow, so I can't sleep just yet. But she can. You lucky duck. She looks very comfortable. Otherwise, though, yeah, it's kind of that. Basically, once the funds are in, I can make sure physical production is happening at the best pace it can. Steve's working on at least one monthly title right now. I think it's a monthly mini, but either way, this project is falling within that timeline, right? So he's got to find a way to balance that. That's been a thing that's kind of occurred with our work, is our wonderful talents are still trying to find the rhythms that they can reasonably do. And so if any stalls happen on that end, I understand it, and I will keep folks informed. But I as far as I can tell, it should be, we've always gotten it done. Otherwise, so once funds are in and such, I think I will start as soon as I can on these sketch cards. I'll email the backers of those to ask what characters they'd like, and I'm assuming Mrs. H will jump right on them. I'm excited to get back to drawing. It's going to be terrible, and I'm so sorry already. I'm so sorry to folks, but I will give my damnedest effort, and it'll definitely be a unique piece of art. Some people give Mignola a lot of crap for his style, and then a lot of people recognize what he does with his style because how good it is. Yeah, like take out any good Mignola has and replace it with just childish incompetence. That's the kind of sketch card you're gonna get from me. I'm kidding. I'll do the best I can. I'll do the best I can, but folks have to live with what it is. Art is full of happy accidents. I agree. I agree. So we'll see. I think either way, I'm gonna have fun with it, and folks are gonna get some value out of it, and something unique, right? So I think it's a worthy trade for their time and effort, and their faith, even if it's the actual physical drawings merits may not be there. I'll do my best though. I'll see. I'm looking forward to it because it'll give me chances to practice and learn. My my understanding of perspective is terrible. I've got drawing books, so I'll practice a little bit before I start on these, but I can't, I know I'm not going to be able to flip a switch and suddenly you're going to be getting something really cool. You're going to be getting something unique, something full of heart, but quality. Beauty's eye of the beholder. Beauty's eye of the beholder. Let's just say that. But I am actually excited. It was a good way to nudge myself back into that. I've been wanting to. Being in comics, it's impossible not to, especially since I've now learned and dealt with every single other aspect besides the artistic ends. I haven't dealt with drawing, I haven't dealt with coloring, but I've dealt with lettering, I've dealt with pre-production, I've dealt with physical production in terms of printing, I've dealt with the team management, I've dealt with marketing, I've dealt with publishing, I've dealt with networking, I think I said. It's just so many different angles. It would be nice to have one more possibility under the cap, even if it's just like cartooning level quality. And it's never too late to learn, right? Each subsequent card will be better than the last. That's my hope. That would be my hope, right? Gives me hours of practice that I was paid to do. So. I'm gonna take the shot real quick. Alright, pardon me. I needed a loosener. So, the number one thing I've tried to express and be really grateful for, that's not the number one. There's a lot of things that are important to me. Being able to take care of an artistic team, get them well paid, get them established, and help them have a portfolio that can show a lot of value in the future. And just getting books to readers, that's probably the number one thing is those things together. But the number two thing that allows me to actually get that number one thing done is what you guys, you wonderful supporters, do through these crowdfunding campaigns. Is you pay me to teach myself one way or another. I've always been a self-taught individual. I don't take instruction well. I never have, right? I figure things out from its base in the way I can, and then I refine those things based on lessons I can learn around. But actual instruction, it never took for me. Like, after I learned to read, like, that was the last time I really accepted instruction. And so, comics has given me many facets of an education that I would not have received otherwise. And I am so grateful for that. Maybe this education doesn't come with a single piece of paper, but it comes with many 32-page pieces of paper. I'll take those anytime over those. But nonetheless, it's a really neat thing. And this is another facet of honoring that continual gift over the last 4 years I've been able to get, right? So doing this over 4 years, as long as I have, it's almost been doing it's almost been doing a full course, right? Almost a degree level course in something insane. So I'm very grateful for it. And I'm hoping, each subsequent card will be better than the last. I'll just take my time and figure it out. I'm glad again that the first two requests. At least the first request for sure that I know is Luffy from One Piece. Not only is that like a resonant character for myself, so it's going to be fun to draw him, but like Oda's style, though very refined and very defined, and it's what he wants to do, is cartoony, right? I'm not like staring at something hyper realistic, and so that's going to be fun. Basically anything I draw is going to be cartoony. It's just how it goes. But yeah, Luffy will be fun drawing the Straw Hat Pirate. That'll be good. Then we'll go from there. We'll see who else, what the other requests are. Right now we are at 20. I'm not on the secret one. I think we were at 18 cards. I'm still linking it, and people can still purchase it until they're sold out till the end of the campaign. There's no reason not to. And Mrs. H, of course, you're only doing the first 52 of those, so don't worry there. I'll make sure people know, like, if we're getting close to 52, like, this is the last chance to get the bonus sketch card. 52 is crazy, to be honest. If somehow we get that far, I'll be very impressed. And if we actually sold all of them, I'm gonna, like, that's 100 cards, about 100 hours of practice or something of me, right? So that'll be fun. Oh, but yeah, I'm excited. This was a wonderful gift. What folks gave us was time. So look at that. Just crazy. So it started to pick up a little bit a couple days before, but then the last 2 days again, just insanity. Let's go ahead because I'm curious, and this is kind of just a relaxed ramble stream. Come on now. It'll load eventually, maybe. Maybe it won't. Maybe we'll just sit here and stare at this blank screen for a while. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. Yeah, the stream's not losing any power, so it's just Indiegogo or something. Why is that taking forever? Stop, refresh. I just want to go to my campaign so we can compare the AI graph of issue 3 to the AI graph of issue 4. Like, I'm just very curious. I haven't done that. Does the graph still exist when it ends? I think it does, but it might not. If it doesn't, it's fine. I'll be a little disheartened. Oh, no, it exists. Looks like they're just, like, big chunks of movement, not so much. Huh. Yeah, let's check this out. This is kind of curious. So here is issue 3's campaign. So we were kind of dead around April 11th, 2020. And then April 15th through April, I don't know, 12th through April 17th is just boom. It looks like this was a bigger climb. This looks like this was lower and worked harder. So issue 4 started off better, right? Oh, it started off much better. So issue 4 started off much better, and then it kind of had consistent growth, and then an explosion. Issue 3, God, it was a slog. It looks like there was a huge dead period between the 19th of March and the 29th of March. It's just like dead. No, it's $690. It was like $500 on that 330. Weird. I don't know what the points mean. But actually, yeah, it looks like issue 4 had a higher climb at the end. That's crazy. You folks are crazy. I don't know how we did this. I don't know, like, look, even like the last day. Boom. 2K. 2.3K the last day. It's crazy. But to be fair, the mid of the campaign is very similar. Very similar. It's about the last week, last 3 days that are a little bit different, with issue 4 here making a much steeper climb. It's crazy. That's okay. There's plenty you could guess about any of this, but hey, you kiddo fell asleep and started kicking me. It's all right, Lita. Okay. Yeah, there's not much data to be afraid. It's interesting to me because it's a similar time period, right? So you look like this one ran from 220 to 420. This one ran from 219 to 417 or so. So it's a very similar period 2 years later. Um, right? 2 years later? 2 years later. And so it's the same goddamn magic at work. It's just a little bit different, isn't it? So I had a long stream about and it was 4 short streams. That was one long stream because of my power outages. But about Elias Barr's comments on how this is the most stressful way to do this work. No shit. Like it's not fair to our backers. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to the art team. It's not fair. It's cool it gets done, but like, yeah, it's crazy. Just one day it was that almost 3K jump to finish this sucker. And there's got to be a better way. That was mainly what I was trying to address with that. Is like, he wasn't wrong. I can't adapt in all the ways he was talking about, either artistic integrity wise or just feasibility wise. But the point is that this is not a very smooth way to run a project of this scale and quality. This is true. There's no escaping that. Like there's no falsehood there, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, even if I didn't agree with all the points being feasible. I wanted to make sure that like that was respected and honored as a longtime backer and supporter of our work. That he doesn't have to. Like nobody has to. Like this thing's crazy. What I asked for this campaign was insane. Like it should not have funded. Like even I knew that when I did that initial total. I was like, well, I knocked it down lower because I can invest a little myself. But even this is crazy. But this is what I need to do the work. So it's what I asked for. And you and many other very, very kind folks showed up and said, okay, go do the work. And I'm totally happy to be able to go do the work again. My God. But like, there's a better way. This is insanity. You can look at it and visualize like that's insanity. That's insanity. If you look at our first day, right? Really good first day. About $1,700 first day. That's great. Let's look at issue 3. First day. $825. This is third day. Second day, $1,700. So we caught up. We exceeded the first day, or we exceeded the second day of the first day with issue 4. Second day of issue 3, issue 4, we exceeded on the first day. I think you get what I'm saying. So like our starts are fine. Our starts are good. The lulls in the middle ain't great. Like it looks like it holds around 4K. Jeez, it held around 4K for a month. So that 1K was a hell of a fight in the mid period, which the mid periods are supposed to be dead. Well, supposed to. The mid periods are often dead. That's the mid campaign lull. It's just, there's a better way. There's a better way, and we just haven't figured it out. But you guys bought me another long course of education and more time to figure it out, which is incredible. It's incredible. Not only that, but you bought a bunch of really cool books. That's the byproduct. That's the proof. That's the end result is something really cool and unique. But the actual ongoing process that was invested in is wonderful. Um, but I don't want to see this. I mean, I would love to see this again if it's the only option, but I don't want to see it again. I don't want to put our fans and friends and everybody in the positions that we were those last couple days again. That's not cool. So I gotta figure out how to do this, and I don't know how yet. I don't know how. Issue 4 will of course raise awareness, like what it's produced. Hopefully the quality is high. I had a original part of the plan B, which I was leaning into. So you accept some certain things so that your mind doesn't take so much loss in it. Like I've experienced a lot of loss in my life, so I've come across ways to compensate smallly for those losses. In this case, I was totally right. I was like, okay, well, you just pivot the work to something else, right? Like it's not a loss. It doesn't stop you. It's not like it's not like I ain't breathing anymore. So that's an easy way. That's one of my pivots. But so I was ready. I'm gonna pivot to Patreon. I'm gonna maybe release it on Kickstarter. I'm gonna pivot, and I was ready to. As always, like the last couple days, I'm like, well, we're not that close there. We 60% goal, 62% goal. Wonderful, incredible with what we're asking. Most books, as Matt Krotz has put out before, like 3K is the average you can expect at best. 3K. I could not make Jack for 3. I couldn't even produce half of the line art for Jack at 3K. It's just not how this works. But that is the numerics that most indie creators are working with. So I also want to communicate the fact I understand that. This is a weird anomaly. IronVerse Comics and Jack in particular is a freaking crazy anomaly in crowdfunded comics. Most crowdfunded comics are paying their artists far below what they're worth. Most crowdfunded comics are, especially in the Kickstarter bit, right? They don't expect much. They just want to make comics. And that's everybody in the creative team understands that, accepts that, and knows what the prices that they can expect are and work at that level whether or not they deserve more. Which sucks, right? Like this shouldn't be the way it is. But if it's a way to make art, like good on you. You can do better. I don't know how Jack does better, but we're slight proof that you can. And so, I want folks to be able to eat and maintain a roof over their head and their family's head off of something as goofy as a comic book. I think that is a wonderful middle finger to the structural nature of the reality we built around ourselves. And I think it is a beautiful way to do it. Like there's a lot of other ways to give that middle finger that are not quite as good, in my opinion. But at the same time, like it's a hell of a thing to accomplish. And I have no idea how we did it. I get a lot of people telling me, well, you worked harder for this than I've seen anybody work on anything in a long time. It's a wonderful inspiration, yada, yada. I appreciate those comments. But for me, like, there was never... Of course, it was hard work. It was tiring. It was all of those things. But I didn't do enough. This shouldn't have happened this way. I didn't do enough. And so, if you're perceiving me as working harder for these things than a lot of people, that's great. In terms of like, I'm honored. I'm glad to have that bit, but like, we shouldn't have to work this hard for it, and it shouldn't come down to what myself and all the wonderful people around us was able to pull off on this. It shouldn't come down to that. It's a beautiful thing. I am so damn grateful for it. It's an impossible thing. But like that's comics in general should be able to do better. And like I'm happy to do my part. My part's very esoteric and it's very like up in the fucking clouds, but it's hopefully helpful. But at the end of the day, man, like it spooks me how many people make books for so cheap. Not because it's not a wonderful gift to the world, not because it's not fulfilling for their soul or anything like that, you know. It's just that I know what that work is, right? Like I can't pour 12 hours into a page. I'm not an artist. But I can pour 20 hours into a live stream. I can pour, as much time as possible into getting the word out. Like I understand that. Um, it's not the same. I think applied skill in terms of page and pen. Um, I think that takes more focus and more self discipline than what I do. I think that focus and self discipline is often worth far more than it is given. And that's why I've worked so hard. We have never, ever, each consecutive release, I have made sure that we could raise page rates for these folks. They're working hard. They're working so damn hard. And they deserve their page rate, and they deserve to say, well, this is what I made on this project from some jack nut indie creator out of New Mexico who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. So why aren't you, as a major publisher, or you as a guy who's got the connections at a publisher, paying me better? Like those kind of connections, that kind of information, that kind of portfolio is what most indie comic crowdfunded artists should be asking for. They should be asking to have that ability. And they should be kicking their project managers in the ass every go to make sure that they are taken care of. Like, if you're doing some jack shit work like I do, I love my work. I love the people around us. I don't mean to disparage the work. I just think that what I do, like, it isn't some amazing thing. It's not putting pen to paper. It's not like the writing end of it, all that, the project managing. It, I tend to think if I could do it, many others could do it. And many others do it, but they could do it better. And the fact that I do it at the level we're able to isn't because of me. I don't think that at all. I think it's because of the wonderful community we've been able to foster and grow, and because of the quality of the talent I'm able to maintain a relationship with. But it's again, welcome Elias. But I was comparing. So this was Jack 3. This is the backer kit or backer tracker or whatever diagram for Jack 3. And I wanted to compare and contrast because it's kind of interesting because it was similar last few days, right? And so Jack 3 started much slower, and the last couple days jumped much less. We did the slope we climbed these last few days with Jack 4 was a damn miracle. Like I thought 3 was a miracle. I absolutely thought in the middle of the pandemic, everybody's broke, like it was dead, Jack 3. This one, I thought, well, everybody's broke again because they've been trudging through this pandemic. They've been trudging through the great resignation. They've been charging through the biggest inflation in like 40 years. There's no way. There's no way it's going to happen, but you give it your all anyway, or else you're not honoring the work. And you folks jumped us like crazy. Yes, they do that voodoo that we do so well. So I'm just kind of rambling and talking about like my perception of like what needs to change. Not that I know how, That was kind of what I was talking about with those previous 4 damn streams, because it was supposed to be 1 stream, to be fair, but it ended up being 4. Um, you're just here to make memes and back comic projects, and you're all out of projects. Well, in some ways that's good from what I've seen with some of the track records with some of the projects you back. So we're gonna do that. I didn't want to do that, Eliza Bar, but we're gonna do it. So, because it shouldn't dox anything. Uno momento. So I want to duplicate this tab here, and then I'm gonna show you what I've backed. I've backed quite a few projects myself, maybe not as many as others have, but on GoGo alone, I think I'm up to like 43 projects backed, something like that. That's not amazing, but that's quite a bit for like my particular income. But here, here we go. Boom. All right, so Kids and Monsters. Adam Lawson, I've worked with, was my best editorial experience I've ever worked with. The guy is dedicated to his work. Project by the line artist for Jack Irons, The Steel Cowboy, one of my oldest friends and oldest ally in comics, Maxi Dalla. Hasn't delivered. Was supposed to deliver next month. I think Maxi actually hasn't finished the lines for it. So I don't think it's going to make deadline. Gemini Jump was shipped within a week. They didn't even have the funds and they shipped that shit out. Robert, it's a year late. Wrath Chapter 2, that actually shipped. I have it. Kill Journal, worked on it. Was about 8 months late. Black Ops, of course I got that real quick. Otis Stein, I don't remember that being late. That was late for the printers. Unbreakable Iron Ranger. Gray Matter, it was a digital file. I don't even think I ever got it. And so that's been years at this point. But I think they did go to release. They just didn't, like, maybe the link went to spam or something. I wasn't all over it. Hammer, it's about a year late. It's from another person over at the Gifted Rebels, who I really love the line art. I like the project quite a bit, but he is late. Holger, I've got. That was another backing for Wrath 2. Mary Sue that was about a year late to get Mary Sue 2. And it was Mary Sue 2 and 3, I think is what it was. Or was it 3 and 4? And it was originally just supposed to be 3, and then he split it into 2 chapters. Still haven't read it, but I got him finally. He did deliver. Deathsworn, as you know, Eliza Barr. Unstitched, I don't believe I ever got. Bigfoot Bill 2, of course I got that. I got Naomi. Colton Crux, it is very late, and there's now more reason for it to be late since it's coming out of Ukraine, but it was much later than it should have been. Saving the World 2, of course I've got Saving the World. I've never had any problems with any of Tonic Comics projects. They've all come in quick and really well done and just a ton of fun. And of course Common America. And then I think all of this I've got. Not Charger, not Local Lethal, fuck that. And Lone Wolf. So, I've been burnt too. I've fucking been burnt too, and it bugs me. But at the end of the day, like, at least we've delivered. But, like, this whole funding thing is kind of you folks bought me time to maybe figure out a better way. And I think it's doable. I think the first most important step is getting this one out on time. We can set that standard, then we've pushed forward on a very common stumble that I would love to not stumble on. So we should be at the printers by October. I've tried to be more rigid in herding the cats this go already. And we don't even have the funding yet. But we'll see, because I think Maxi, again, like I said, I think he's still finishing off Kids and Monsters. The thing with his line art is, like, I think he's a sporadic artist like I am, in terms of, like, you'll get those moments of massive inspiration, and then you could spend 12, 13, 14 hours on something and just knock it out. Whereas there's long periods of, like, this will be hard. And that's not a great way to approach art, but I think that happens more to artists than we care to admit. So I think that might have happened with Kids and Monsters. It was 72 pages. It was the biggest project Maxi's ever worked on. So I can see that being being a bit of a problem, and I think that's part of his stalling tactics with more Jack pages, which I've been asking for 2 months now, with the ability to pay for them just sitting there. Nice thing is he doesn't like take money and then not deliver. He's got integrity. He might stall. He might not give the direct reason like why, and I'm gonna have to address that. But he doesn't like, okay, I'll take the money and then tell you a date, not deliver. No, he doesn't. And with our rapport, like he'll deliver the pages basically before I pay him, just to make sure that the pages are done, and because he knows I'll pay him right away. So that's been nice. But I think that's something that needs to be overcome as well. We'll we'll work at it. We'll work at it. It's an incredible gift. I'm just looking at it, and I'm just like that's insanity. Like, look, the last 6 days, the last week, we jumped 50% almost. I don't know. I'll have to figure this. I think consistent delivery on time is one of the mechanisms that would help. Bar, you mentioned like more exclusive Patreon content. We actually are working on that. We've been working on it, but I think there's a better way for me to do that I can integrate right away. More than just, again, putting content on Patreon is a big difference than making Patreon content. And that's something you did emphasize, and I think that's very smart. Something I've definitely neglected for a while. I did it multiple other times, in particular like writing stuff that nobody was interested in, but there are other ways to do that, possibly more entertaining ways. But all out of projects. That's disappointing. Can I recommend anything right now? You probably backed it already. uh, I don't know. Is that in demand? So, the wonderful folks at Iconic Comics have been huge supporters. Literally, Tim Lim gave Jack his first printed appearance. But even this last campaign, Mr. Kennedy and Douglas Ernst were very, very kind to this campaign. They helped quite a bit in their own more quiet way. Less so with Ernst. Ernst was very proud to help us out. I was very glad about that. But so Arc Athena is what I'm bringing up. I don't know if that's in demand. I don't know if Kennedy runs in demand, because I know he actually wants to do the consistent, timely release deal, while working with some of the more prominent Comicsgate like talent, like Eric Weathers. Like that's impressive to me. If they could actually get that. As far as I'm aware, Arc Athena has delivered as Iconic Comics tends to, so far. Oh yeah, there's this whole thing too I never looked into. Zest World. He was pushing that pretty good. No. I didn't want to go to it twice. Let's go over here. Closed. No, he does not go into in demand, which makes sense because I think what they want to do is go to print as soon as possible, and then they sell any remnants of that large print run through iconiccomics.com. That makes sense. That makes sense. So you cannot snag Arc Athena 2 right now. So if you want to get 1 and 2, you either wait till they're up on Iconic Comics, which I think 1 is already, or you wait till Arc Athena 3 of 6, which means he's almost done with already. That's crazy. That's the way to do comics. That's the fucking way to do it. What is this? So you can read chapter 1 for free. And there's no Iconic Comics iconography on it. In fact, interesting. So from ah man, there's a lot to talk about there. There's a lot to talk about. Like it should have like an association with. If I was iconic, I'd be at least asking for that. Not because like you gotta have your hand in this creator-owned title kind of deal, but because it is a major factor in the way that this exists. Period. Like till the end of time, basically, I have to say Wicked Publishing first published Jack. Like if I left, doesn't matter. Um, and I get that, and I'm totally fine with honoring that. Like it shows up in any other publishing first published by. Like I'm totally fine with that. That's nothing. Um, I find this weird. I find this a little awkward, especially since like they're. I get that they're pushing this new platform, and I don't really get what it's for. It's for the digital release, but I don't know. Something doesn't feel great with this, but that's me personally. And so you can start it. Oh, it looks like they cut it out panel to panel. This is definitely zoomed in on his work, and they reformatted it for web. Oh god, it kills the paneling. Am I the only one who? Okay, and then it goes to a full page at least, and then. Oh, okay, there we go. There's some not completely killed paneling. It's insanity in terms of how you panel something. My God, Eric. Oh, but I get what he's doing. It's supposed to show a bunch of different people. Okay, okay. And it's a full page. And then they cut the paneling again. What an interesting way to present it. Is, it's. Huh. I don't know. I don't know. Gut reaction is I don't like this. But I don't know. What else is on Zest World? Saw that being pushed pretty hard and then it went quiet for a bit there. What else is on Zest World? So we've got Palmiotti, we've got Suguera, we've got Tomasi. That it? All right, so I'm going to be a little biased. It looks like they are a budget Global Comics. With like, they spent, like, they had a higher budget than Global Comics does, but they spent it more on talent. While Global Comics spent it on infrastructure. And also, Global Comics doesn't ask for this in doing so. So I hope he got a good paycheck out of that, because that would, as a creator from my end, that would bug the hell out of me, especially if like there are other sections of business that you're working with that equally deserve it. I don't know. I don't know. Didn't expect the stream to go to this part, but it's it's a curious thing, I'm gonna say. Welcome, Mr. Schmeling. Welcome, welcome. We're just chatting a bunch of stuff. It's a very rambly stream. We ended up here, which I've never actually taken a look at, and I meant to, so I'm glad I did, but very curious to me. Most of the ramble was talking about, I was comparing this graph, the backer tracker graph from issue 4 to the backer tracker graph for issue 3. Similar that there's that massive jump at the end, but we actually climbed much harder and much further with issue 4, which whoop, I find wonderful, of course, but like, damn, we really did scrape it by, didn't we? No worries, rambling's fine. Well, that's good. That's good. Because you're going to get some of that. Just crazy. Alright. think we dealt with most of what I wanted to deal with already, though. And it's only been an hour already. Jeez. Talk about rambling. I didn't even realize it's been an hour. Let me go. Oh, wow. There's a lot of. Okay, less than I thought. That's good. Going here. Down here, real quick. Goals. So I did talk about that. Primary goal right now is to obtain more backers. The crazy, insane goal would to be surpass issue 3's backer numbers, which we need about 200 more backers to do. Which possible, absolutely possible. It just would be insanity if it was pulled off. Like almost more insanity than finishing like we did. Adaptations in a New World. We didn't talk much about that, but we kind of did with the Eric thing. Are you going to attempt to attend cons? That's a great question. I would love to. So we have like three cons in New Mexico. We have the Santa Fe Comic Con, which I think is usually in October. We have Alien Con or something like that, which is kind of a mix of Comic Con and science fiction convention, and they do comics and kinds of stuff. I believe that's down towards Carlsbad or Roswell. And I think that's like August or something. And then we have New Mexico Comic Con, which I have no idea when it's going this year, but that's usually in Albuquerque. I would like to hit the Albuquerque one because I want to personally thank a couple people who I think are showing up there. But I don't know if I'll attend as a creator. I can't, like, not only don't I have product, really, like Wicked has all the product. I don't have the cash for a table, so I might attend, but like it would be mainly to thank folks. We had planned in 2019 to do that Alien Con with Wicked. They were going to come out and do that, and we were going to do it together, and that of course was squashed by the pandemic. So that didn't happen, and then since I haven't heard anything else. I still would love to hit Bell County for the same reason that I know a couple of the iconic comic folks, they're always at Bell County. But if they're coming to Albuquerque, that one's feasible. I can do that one. It's a 3.5 hour drive. I can go down there and I can do it and I can come home. Like, that's not bad. I can do that. I'd like to do that. Personally thank them and give a handshake and all. Bell County is about 7.5 hours, and my vehicles just don't have the infrastructure. I don't have the cash or the time to take off work, right? Like, it sucks. I would really like to do that stuff, but it's just not, would not be easy. Best way to say it. Drive to Bell County, then we can slum it up together as the poorest people to get within a half mile of the mecca of Tim Lift's booth. If I could, I'd have to. There's a lot of factors. There's a lot of factors besides my animals that, like, I don't have anybody to take care of. I could leave my dog at my work, and she'd hate it, and she'd hate me, but I could do it. I couldn't do that to my cat. She's 17, she'd go crazy, and I would hate to have something happen to her there when I'm not there. She's been taking care of me all 17 of those years. Like, she deserves that from me. The chickens, maybe I can get somebody to come by and feed, right? That's not a biggie. But it's a lot tougher to afford that and take that risk of a drive in my very old vehicles. My 94 truck's falling apart. It's running, it's doing fine, but like, I would not take it that distance. And then my other vehicle is an $800 Subaru that, like, I'd take that distance, but it would probably be the last time it did anything like that. Crowdfund, send Cody to I thought about that this campaign. I did many times. I was just like, nobody needs to pay for that. Like, if I can't take care of myself or I can't get invited, then there's no need. Like, it's really cool. Back in 2019, I was asked to be on a panel at San Diego Comic Con by this guy. Like, it was really cool. He asked, and he's like, oh, if you're already attending, like, please come be on this panel. I was like, oh, I'm not attending. I'm so sorry. Thank you so very much. That sucked. That sucked big time, because being on a panel at a Comic-Con like that is kind of like a wonderful opportunity. But you do what you can, right? You do what you can. Base, gas, table, and hotel. Yeah. Stretch goals, money for X item at the table, like 100 for posters. Yeah, it could be done, but like, you guys put in near 14K to get issue 4 done. Like, I'm not asking for any more. Not until we deliver on this book. Like, I wanted, and I have still considered running to help with some of the costs on issue 4's campaign. Believe it or not, I was considering running a campaign to print some trade paperbacks of 1 through 3 again. I was very much considering doing that on Kickstarter, but like, I don't want to ask anybody for anything more. Like, it's an insane gift we already got. I'll just do what I usually do, which is batten down, do the work, save up, make sure everything gets out. Like, that's 100% doable. And just hope that no craziness happens like last year for me. You need to let people who want to support you. Up to a point. After that, like, when does it become taking advantage of the situation, right? Like, I think it becomes taking advantage very, very quickly. Like, I already feel like crowdfunding can be that very, very often, and I try very hard not to make our work that. And so, like Mrs. A, you know how hard I don't accept help very easily. I don't put my standard on other folks, but like, if I can't take care of myself, if I can't take care of what needs to be done, then I am failing, right? That's the problem. And so I adapt when I have to, like I did with issue 4 here, but relatively frivolous, quote unquote frivolous investments, like taking me to a con, which should be something I'm capable of, and if I'm not, then I get myself to a place I am, or it doesn't happen. That's kind of where it needs to be. Just same with Jack 4, right? Like, I accepted more help than I should have for Jack 4. I really did. But it allowed it to happen, and it's going to get some wonderful talents paid and another issue of something that's really important to me done. So I'll accept it. But I really wish I didn't have to do it that way. Crowdfunding, at least it's an exchange for goods, right? Like, taking me to a con, nobody's getting anything about that. Like, just me. And like, maybe some folks I interact with. Like, that's something I should figure out myself. But I don't know, Mrs. H. One of these days I'll figure it out. But I have thought of it. It's not like something I'm 110% against. It's just something like I would need to feel that I would be giving more than I'm taking, if you get what I mean. And I don't think in a con situation, I personally don't feel that that's as possible as it is with making comics. Like, with making comics, it's very easy for me to give far more than I'm taking, even when I'm taking so much. With like going to a con or doing like meet and greets and stuff, like that's all taking. That's basically all taking. So I don't know. I'll have to feel it out. If I can find a way that I would think it was worthwhile for folks, then maybe. But at the moment, my perception is that's just, it would be a lot more taking than giving. And I owe so very much already. And not like monetary debt kind, more like like the fact that you folks allowed me to grow kind of, like, right? Like, honor that first. But We'll see. We'll see. You never know. You never know. Like if a con asked me to come out and was paying me, that's their thing. But if I'm asking our own personal fans to do it, that's a whole another ball game. That's a whole another ball game. I'm not comfortable with, unless I could find some way to give back, right? Like, if I was able to do it via profit by selling something and then I spend the profit on the con, then that's one thing. But just taking it for something like that, I don't think I could do that. I don't see a way in which that really gives back. I'll have to think on it because maybe there is a way, but off the top of my head, I don't think I can't think of it. Howdy, Arno. Welcome, welcome. Just chatting, a lot of rambling. Thanks for stopping in, as you do. Much appreciated. Sorry, one second. And apologize for the typing noises that my mic will inevitably be picking up. Oh no, Cody just got serious. I'm always serious, and that's part of why I turn a lot of people off. Yeah, so that's just kind of where chat is. It's kind of just where things are, right? Like it's a wonderful idea. It's a possibility, but I would have to find a way to give value to the people giving me value at or exceeding what they're giving me. Uh, and yeah, that's a really tough one to pull off with a con. That's a really tough one. One way, right, is you produce like a con exclusive variant printing of something, and you offer that to the backers who are backing to send you to the con, and then you ask for profit, which would allow you to go to the con as well, and then you take those con exclusive ones and you sell them there, and then you hope that that makes the profit over the print costs and the shipping costs to the backers. That would be a way to do it, but that's another one where like you would have to sell 100 200 issues at least. But that's a way to do it, like that I'd be accepted, I'd be amiable to. Again, I just would want to provide, again, value equal to or exceeding the value being placed and the faith being placed into the work. To just live with myself, right? Like I'm not out here chasing the dollar just to chase the dollar. I'm out here chasing the dollar because it is the only mechanism which allows certain work to get done. Most work on this world to get done, but certain work in particular. And if I fuck around with that, I'm not gonna live with myself. Like it's just not something I can do. Again, I'll take a financial hit every one of these campaigns rather than decrease value if I can for anything involved with artwork. I'm happy to do that as long as I can. Be nice not to have to. I won't lie. It'd be nice, like, oh look, I got a little bit of change this week. Go get a burger. That'd be swell. But like, like I'm very comfortable compared to how many other folks like are grinding every day. Like I've got a job I love that I thought I might not have. That like it's an adjustment, but it's gonna work out. I've got a home to live in that I'm very comfortable in. I've got a wonderful animal family to take care of that takes care of me. Like I'm okay. I can get a manga volume every year once in a while. I can back a crowdfunding campaign that matters to me every once in a while. I can keep my truck on the road. The health concerns might be a thing at some point. I'm still a young man, luckily, and I take okay care of myself. But until then, I mean, I've been having. It is what it is. But you know, as long as I can keep things duct taped together on my end, I'm happy. Oh, you put out a poll. I'm pretty sure most votes are going to be gingers, Mrs. H, if you're still here. Like, that one's just going to win. In fact, that's my neutral stance. Yep, thought so. 42% gingers. So about 4 people said yes so far. Interesting. That is an informative poll. I am going to bookmark, Mrs. H. This truly confused me. That's an answer. A tiny cabal of fans, indeed. Liza Barr, like pulling a massive, massive house. I don't know how you guys did it. I do not know. But it was done, so I guess that's all that matters. As long as I can and do hold up my end, which I should. I don't see why not. Gingers, the people that the media hate for some ungodly reason. Yeah, it's weird. They're definitely first on the chopping block for a identity switch when Hollywood decides to do that. I've seen that again and again and again. Very weird. Zest World thing. Okay, let me look at another project on Zest World. This is just confusing the hell out of me. Let's look at Palmiotis. Okay, they've got a couple projects on there. Let's look at Rage. Okay, I have to subscribe. Okay. How about Trigger Girl? It doesn't even have any content up. Okay. How about Boom Pow? It also doesn't have any content up. How about Found? Okay, Found has content, but they're both also paid. Alright. So why would you visit this place? What are they doing? Okay, I can read chapter 1 of The Awakened, and they didn't chop it to hell. Oh, you don't even... No, I read 2 pages of The Awakened, and they didn't chop it. Okay. They must have really been handing out checks. I don't know how... I don't know how. Like, why? Even more so than how. Like, why? Oh, there's a wait list. You've shown me no reason to join your platform as either an established professional or an independent small-time creator. The names don't do shit. I can't even read the work. get it. I don't get it. I wish everybody the best in their business endeavors as long as they're not hurting anybody, but this one just seems dumb. I don't see what you're doing. There's no hype. There's no attract. Like, I could build this site. I'm terrible at building websites. I could build this site. What? I don't get it. I don't get it. Well, watch. Yeah. We'll look at Canetti's. It bugs me because they chopped his pages to hell to do it. To make it more web friendly, right? Chopped panel. Chop panel. Chop panel. So it loses all of the shape of the pages except when they absolutely could not with Canetti's work. Like this spread. Like they didn't want to chop that. But then they did kind of run it together anyway and did the zoomed in panel, which I don't get it. I don't get it, but whatever. Just all my best, but like you guys are acting like this hasn't been done better elsewhere. Cough, cough. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Just, I hope it works. That's all. Not for me. Zest World is not for me. Maybe it's for somebody. They definitely were able to sell it to some people, if not buy some people. Howdy, Scott. The bot's making sure everybody gets a howdy even if they're saying howdy to somebody else. That's my kind of bot. Everybody gets a howdy here. Everybody's getting a howdy. Howdy. That's crazy. I don't get it. But that's alright. So, Scott, all you missed was a little bit of talking about this compared to this. So 4 compared to 3, a little bit of that. A little bit of talking about like trying to hit cons. That was a part of this. Talked about Zest World, which I don't get. Just check out Global Comics. It's much better and doing the exact same thing. Just like professionally, instead of just putting professionals' names on the front of your web. I don't get it. That's kind of it. That's kind of all. Almond Comics said she's something on Twitter. Did they? My guess is it's that movie thing. If it's something else more important, I will totally get a hold of it. But if it's just the movie thing, I have not. There's so much content that I was just like, I'll totally boost, but interact, it's going to be a few. If he sent me something else, then I'm just missing it. I know there's the, like, you could post the Global Comics page there, which I haven't done. I don't always get to everything. Like, I see everything, and I usually retweet and boost if it's, like, not something stupid, which is very rare. Most people are very cool about that. Usually stuff has value. But I don't get to everything. Especially interaction posts lately. Like, sometimes it's fun. Sometimes I'm just like, I'm burnt. It's after work. Go get them. if that's what I'm missing. No, they want to promote Jack Irons and need some cover images. Omen Comics. Yeah, I don't have a DM from him. Okay, he's asking me now. Through Wicked Chat. No, I didn't get that. Nope. I did not. Here, I got him though. Yeah, I don't have a DM from him or anything. He might have sent it to the wrong place or something else might have happened. Here, where is that? It's deep in here, isn't it? Thanks for nudging me though, Scott. It's a weird thing for me to miss. Usually DMs come through. He might have sent it to the wrong place, right? Like, that's a possibility, but... It was all in the Wicked Chat. Oh! See, yeah, I wasn't caught up on that. I see what you're talking about. Oh, okay, we just burnt by it. That's why. Oh, I see. Got it, got it. Bro, don't be hitting the like button on Twitter stuff like I'm off recording a comic review. I'm very confused. I just liked and retweeted the fact that you said that it was a Herculean effort that our fandom dragged Jack Irons to the finish line. If that's so wrong, then sorry. Truly. Okay, let me email it, I guess. That's the... It's helpful. I don't want to be a dick. I'm just very, very tired. Okay. And so I triage, like, what I'm doing, right? That's the wrong email to send it from. Things that could be pushed off a day or two tend to be things that can't, do not. Alright, then I'll just attach those things. Oh, I gotta find them again. In my pile of stuff. Too much stuff. Okay, it's below that. Okay, then just give it to me. Come on. It's that one, and then I'll attach, okay, I'll attach these two as well. Come on, find them. There they are. Other covers, go! No, I just want to write in here, please. Sent. Sent. Yesterday was interesting. Apparently people were unaware that your series is on Global Comics. I did, because it's very true. It's very, very true. I've got the graphs to show it. I don't know how you guys did it. I don't know how you guys did it. Alright, I'll let him know I sent it. Ah, come on, keyboard. I am not a great typist. Yeah, it just gets done. That does fit. Okay. Yeah, that's a trip. Most people are unaware, to be fair, Scott, most people are unaware of Global Comics. They work very hard to change that, to be fair, but like it's still a very indie platform. Like, of course, all the companies they have are very indie. Even like I was a Top Cow is probably Top Cow or Top Cow might be the biggest publisher they have on there, right? So they're still very indie, but they've got publishers, right? They've got most of the medium to small indie publishers. Um, but like, how many people in comics actually read medium to small indie published comics? And then you take it like, how many people read comics? It hurts. It hurts to think about. It hurts. It hurts my soul. But it is a valid fact. Like, it's tough out there to get words out. Even if you have somebody like heavy metal pushing you, or you have even some relatively well-known talents that put their creator-owned stuff on there, like relatively big talents, 30, 40,000 follower kind of folks. It's tough. It's tough. Can I fit in production in there? In production. Does it fit? Oh, it fits! Go ahead and do save. Boom. This is so fair, Eliza Bar. Let me go ahead and find it again. I'm gonna bookmark that sucker for later enjoyment. I said I'm gonna bookmark that sucker for later enjoyment. Why wasn't it just right there? Okay. What? It should be in here even. There it is. Found it. Alright. Well, I did bookmark it because I'm cool like that. You miss so many things on social media. After work, you look into your accounts, and probably 90% of what you're interested in went straight past me. It's so hard. It's so hard. Like, there was a long, like, I marketed the, and this isn't even just social media. This is through email lists. This is through, okay, it's also through email lists. To be fair, social media and email lists. I don't think there was a third. I guess technically YouTube, but that's social media to me as well. Marketing Jack Force campaign for signups, right? Like, we still ended up launching with less than 100, or 100 less signups than issue 3 launched with a longer push for signups. And like, email signups don't tend to be something people like unassign if it's like 5 months later the thing actually happens, right? So it wasn't like anybody wasn't pushing it because it would be annoying or something. No. It just wasn't being seen. And so that's it's weird. I don't know. The algorithms have been adjusted many times over the last few years. And I still think they're in kind of a rough spot for the little guy. Let's just say that. Definitely a rough spot. Whether you're looking to consume media or put out media. Howdy, dollar coins. I love you too, big buddy, I guess. I don't know if you're doing the size dynamics. I really don't know. I bet you're taller than me. I'm not the tallest individual out there. Where are we at? Hour and a half? Hour and a half. Nice. I don't know how much longer I'm going to stream, folks. Oh, I had the shot. I talked a lot. It might be all I got. No, I don't know if there's anything else I need to talk about, though. We talked about... I'm going to have to look into Zestworld. I'm so curious. If I got a chance to talk to Eric Canetti about it, that would be the best. Because it's such a weird thing to me. Like, it's very budget in the presentation, yet they put money into named individuals, and then they ask those individuals to put their logo above any of their product, like any of their digital work that they already produced, their creator-owned work. It's weird. This world's weird. Shot? What shot? Better be with a gun. It was not with a gun. It was with Mexican tequila. Tequila, and this one's hard because you got to roll the R and then you got to do the HJ. Oh God, no, you got to do the. Oh man, Coralejo. God, even rolling the R. I can't do it. It's too quick. The R's are too quick on it. Coralejo. God, it's tough. Reposada tequila. Coralejo. There it is. It just needs practice. Coralejo. Or Coralejo. Reposada tequila. Something like that. No, this stuff. This is in a pretty blue bottle. It's the celebratory drink for the Jack 4 campaign. It was my big expenditure. A whole $26 on a bottle. Got that, and then I got some Dominoes. That was my celebration for Jack 4. It was within budget. And it was good. The pizza made me so tired, though, for those last few streams, for those hours, man. It wasn't even just the drink. It was the pizza knocked my butt out. This stuff is good. It's smooth. It's some of the best tequila I've had, and I really like the bottle, so I get to keep the bottle. So that's always nice. I've got a couple bottles that are kind of important to me. Yeah, this is one of them. Alright. I mean, I could play something, right? That's probably what I do anyway. Lita has moved from the couch, where she's kind of cramped, to the bed, where she is not cramped and passed out. She doesn't know she has a Pigu coming. She's going to be pretty happy about that, dollar coins. Oh, I don't know if you saw. You probably didn't, so I'll show this again. So here's issue number 4's graph, right? Here's issue number 3's graph. It was a much steeper climb for issue number 4. Gingers and Yes are tied. That's surprising. That's surprising. I expect Gingers to win, to be fair. But I don't know. You'll get some folks who'll be like, nah. But you'll get plenty of people who say yes, like it sounds good in concept. But like, if those people aren't going to be at that con, the value I guess I could provide is like film, like make a documentary out of it, right? Like. You have pulled poorly. No, I think you did fine. So I talked about like maybe you sell a reprint or a variant cover of something that would be sold at the con, but you also sell it to those backers, right? Like it's an exclusive printing or something. Like that could provide value, but you have to build in enough profit to make the con viable. That's a complicated way to do it. This documentary idea, not so much. Like, that's doable, right? Like, there might be some interest in, like, I don't know, an hour and a half film of a newbie comic creator's first con. Like that might actually have inherent value to it. Oh no, I'll have to think on that one. I had to think about it for a little bit, but like, problem is I don't have a camera that's worth a damn. It'll all be on my really shitty phone camera that saves data in 3PG files. Like, it's a blasphemous camera. But assume I had a better camera, which I don't. But assume a indie creator had a good camera. I think you could argue and maybe sell a documentary of that creator's first con by that creator, and that could be worth value and work as a thing, right? Like, I think that's more feasible. But then you also have to, like in my case, you'd have to build in a budget for that camera. But that could do it. That's not like the worst thing ever. The other option is if like I had a traveling companion that had a decent phone. Just use that phone, right? I don't. Like, there's everybody I know works hard. They always working. But that's something to think about. Like, I would actually be very interested in doing that. I think it'd be a lot of fun. But again, crowdfunding. Everything that comes with that. But that intrigues me compared to just the con, right? Just getting someone to a con. Like that doesn't interest me so much in terms of providing value to the people allowing the thing to happen. But then you film it and you edit it nicely, and maybe you have some cool interactions that are filmed, and you have something to say about it at the end. Might be worth it. Stretch goal, cameraman. Yeah, exactly right. No, that would have to be built in. Yeah. Well, maybe not the man, the camera. Camera would have to be built in. Stretch goal, get a man for it. Or just do the Robert Rodriguez thing and just film it all yourself. Like, I'd be totally fine with that. But again, it have to have some kind of camera worthwhile. Like, even this quality cameras wouldn't be bad. It's much better than my phone. But this is a webcam, right? It doesn't. You don't use that. I don't think you could. It'd have to be something, a handy cam or something of some kind. Is the handy cam even a thing anymore? I'm getting old. I'm sure handy cam's a thing. If it's not, it should be. I remember back in the day. Let's see. Read the best image comic stories of the 90s in celebration with their 30th anniversary. See the origins of Spawn, Witchblade, and others in their massive bundle. Isn't Witchblade like Top Cow, though? But Top Cow's Image, isn't it? Oh, I'm so confused. I don't know. There's some good books. Battle Chasers, the new one. Oh no, a re-release of Battle Chasers. Astro City, Spawn, Savage Dragon. All 102 issues of Savage Dragon. Wow. Cyber Farce. Oh, Force. Why's the O look like an A? Did they get the wrong cover? Or has it just always looked like that? It's just terrible, terrible logo design. Shadowhawk, alright. The Darkness, Witchblade, and then a self-contained Savage Dragon. How much? $30 they want? I want $25 for that? 102 issues of Savage Dragon might be worth that, to be fair. And all of that's okay. Oh, maybe that's all of Spawn, too, actually. It's 20 volumes of Spawn. I don't know how big a volume of Spawn is, though. But that could be like 120 issues of Spawn. That's pretty good. This is what I'm talking about, folks. If you're digital readers, check out Humble Bundle. They always got some cool comics. Besides their games, they always do like cool comic bundles. And this is a independent 30th anniversary celebration. It's like almost a large chunk of Spawn. Might be all of Battle Chasers. Again, this logo, I thought it said Cyber Farce because that. I think that's very, very badly designed. But a lot of Savage Dragon, if that's your thing. Shadowhawk, I've read a good chunk of Shadowhawk. Shadowhawk's pretty good. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. Witchblade I enjoyed too. A little bit of Witchblade I've read. I like the Witchblade Justice League crossover I have, where Wonder Woman gets infected by the Witchblade. That's pretty fun. But yeah, $25 for all this. It's not bad. Particularly for these two, I think if you're like a big digital reader, like this is probably a ton of good content. Probably. I don't know. I haven't read it. Ah, there we go. There we go. Muchas gracias, hombre. Oh, and then he hooked it up with the... Okay, well, that was cool. Thank you. He does work hard for the promo. Ah. 14 votes, and yes, it is half gingers, half yes. That's great. If you throw gingers in the mix with this crowd, you should know the answer. You should know the answer. Those are free? No, not that I'm aware of. Those are free on Humble Bundle. If you have a sub, I don't know. If the question mark's asking me, I don't think so. Looked like it was a one-time purchase deal, like they do their bundles, right? Looked like it was just like their 30th anniversary bundle. If they have a sub thing and that gives you access to a comic library that they have access to, then yeah. But I that doesn't seem like that's the thing. You were so excited for the Witchblade TV show. Never saw it. Never saw it. Or it never came out. Either one. Witchblade's a trip. I like Witchblade as a concept. I did like the heroine that it pairs to, and I like the whole... it's got a very Ghost Rider vibe to it in that the original Johnny Blaze and Zarathos dynamic, where it's like they're getting their powers from something that actually wants to control them, kind of bit, and then trying to find the balance and overwhelming it when it needs to, where the morality isn't there, that kind of stuff. Like, I like those character dynamics a lot, and Witchblade has a bit of that, if I remember correctly. It's been a while. But I do like that. Ooh. PDF, CBZ, or EPUB to use on any device. It goes to Book Industry Charitable Foundation, which I don't know if that foundation is worth supporting with your money. I have no idea. What's the bundle this month? It's almost done, right? Nothing important. Alright, this has definitely turned into a rambling stream, but that was kind of its intent. Anything else worth pointing at or talking about? Sadly, no further updates to go with IronVerse Comics at the moment. I know the Recluse is still in production. It's almost done in terms of the introductory preview. Cactus Coyote is waiting on a couple pages to get funded, or not to get funded, to get colored. And Jack, I'm gonna nudge the crap out of Maxie Monday, because that's usually when he delivers stuff. And see where he's at. I think he's stalling till he has the Kill Journal pages done. Like I'm like 80% sure that's what's happening, and like, he should know he can level with me by now, so I'm going to make that clear. If that's what's happening, dude, just like finish the work you got to do. It's okay. I'm excited. Not Kill Journal, the Kids and Monsters pages. I'm excited for that book. Like, do what you got to do. Jack's funded. We're not like behind schedule or anything. Like, just breathe. It's all good. Let me know where you're at so I can work around. And then we'll go from there. Let's talk about sketch cards. So far we only have one person who was so excited that he wanted to tell us their characters right away. So we're drawing Luffy for One Piece, and then Illustrator Monk's drawing Chopper for this individual, also from One Piece. I'm excited to see Illustrator Monk draw like not a lady and not like a human. Like, I think that's going to be pretty neat. I think his version of Chopper is going to be really cool. It's going to surprise even him. But otherwise, like, I'm going to ask for characters. Like, once funding's in, then I will specifically send an email to those backers asking them for their characters. And then I will send you that information as I have it. My hope is we will do the cards in order of them being backed, but there's a good chance that we'll have to do them a little out of order in terms of people like getting us the information of the card they want us to draw, right? So we're going to find that balance. But once those emails are sent and nudged, then it should be in motion and we'll figure it out from there. You're rewatching through all of One Piece once more. I'm stuck on Fishman Island. I'm like right towards the end of it. Luffy and the crew have kind of proved themselves to the royalty that they're not the bad guys finally. Luffy is chilling with the princess, if I remember right. It got her out of the castle, and they're going to go fight the guy who's trying to, if I can't have her, I'll kill her. And so he marked her, and he can toss anything from anywhere, and it will go to her to try and kill her. That was his fruit. I forgot what the fruit was called. His devil fruit. And that's where I'm stuck on One Piece. I just haven't gotten through it. It's so good though. I really like One Piece. It's really slow at points, but when it hits so damn hard. So what you're hearing is you should commission the motorcycle from Akira for Monk just to make me happy. Right? Oh man, commission a motorcycle or a horse from any artist and see how happy they are. And I got Maxie to do both multiple times. I feel so bad for him in that case, but he got good at it. But that's what I've heard. A lot of artists who are like used to action drawings and people, horses and motorcycles are two of the like most difficult things to have them draw. Cars can hit people, but I've heard more complaints about bikes and horses. You're at the Captain Kuro fight. Captain Kuro. Oh man, it's been so long. Q Monk sending me a stick figure motorcycle. So a circle, then a line, then another line, and then like two little lines for a handlebar. There's your motorcycle. Oh, but it's got to be skidding though. Still, it's the bike from Akira, right? So we'll have it skidding. Just put two little lines from the little circles we draw. There you go. There's your bike from Akira. The Usopp arc. Oh, it's been so long. See, I remember beats. I don't remember every arc. I don't. Like, when I think of Usopp, like, the first thing that really sticks with me is the first time, like, he's really, the ship. They're going to have to abandon the ship, finally. And Luffy's like, well, we have to continue our adventure. And Usopp is not having it. It's the first time like he has like a real disagreement as first mate with Luffy, and they have that big fight on the beach. That's the moment I remember of Usopp. But I don't know, maybe I'm missing something or just don't remember when they first meet Usopp. See, like, I don't even remember that. It's been so long. I don't remember how they met most of them. I remember Robin because of her whole arc. I remember Nami very well. I remember Zoro getting picked up. I kind of remember Sanji. I remember Chopper a lot. The doctor up in the mountains. But like, I don't even remember the bad guy or like what the arc dealt with. I just remember like the location and some of the beats. My memory just doesn't hold content. It absorbs it, it appreciates it, and it can hold resonances, but it does not hold well. Does it? Who Usopp tells his lies to before meeting Luffy. I forgot Usopp was even a liar. Like, I remember that now. Like, that was his trope before they met. Before he changes. Yeah, God, see, I don't even remember that. Kuro's the butler that's watching Kaya, the blonde girl. I don't remember any of this. Oh my God. I'm going to have to start One Piece again. Yeah, Kuro wanted to retire, but his pirate crew's turning up to have him back. Wasn't it? Okay. Mrs. H, your grandfather was a motorcycle mechanic, so you love drawing bikes. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, my dad did mechanics of all kinds. He did carpentry. He did a whole bunch of stuff. His dad was a carpenter and a construction guy. His dad, so my great granddad, was God, a peasant of some kind who came over from Spain through Portugal to Hawaii and worked the sugarcane fields till they paid off their passage, and then they came to California and he did construction and odd jobs till they bought a bar in San Francisco, till the great San Francisco earthquake happened and destroyed all that, and then they had to kind of rebuild from there. And then I think that's how my grandfather on my dad's side got into construction. And then that's what he passed on to my dad. And a little bit came to me, not much. He wasn't the greatest hands-on teacher. He's a lot like me, right? We were very similar people, and so we rubbed each other wrong so often. And not like in bad ways, just like the way that two very similar objects, like magnetism, positives pushing against each other, right? It was a lot of that. And I think it was the same with him and his dad. Same with him and his brother as well. My dad, my uncle. But yeah. Your great grandpa also came from Spain in the 20s. Interesting. Yeah. So it's a little bit after. So it was my great grandparents came over like late 1800s. And then by about I don't even remember when was the San Francisco earthquake? The big one. 1906. So yeah, this was it was about 1906. I mean, you guys got to remember my dad had me when he was 56. He's part of the lost generation, born 1940, right? So his dad before that, right? Like, that's how it goes. So my great grandpa, it was 1906. They lost the bar, so he was probably over in the cane fields in like the late 1800s, and then was over in San Francisco by then. Your mom finally came from France, but served New Spain in Texas since the Texas annexation. Oh, okay. That's why there's a Paris, Texas, right? That makes sense. Yeah, and then my dad, like during the time, being part of the lost generation, so too young to have been conscripted or put into World War II. A lot of them became hippies, and so my dad did the whole wandering thing and trying to figure out life, and he did that for a very long time. He ended up here. My mom, she born 58. She left home at about 14. She did not have a good home life. Made her way to New York, made her way into certain social circles, some of them less legitimate than others, but she took advantage of those circles to get a loan and started a garment business, which was relatively successful for a good chunk of time. But her main goal was always to have a kiddo, but she was told she couldn't, and that ended up rubbing her first husband wrong in a couple ways, that he couldn't have a kid, and that first husband was part of certain circles that expect children. And so eventually that did not work out, and she left and came down here with some money after selling it and opened up a little clothes store and met my dad. It's a trip. My dad must be a charmer. I wouldn't have said that. No, he was tall, handsome, strong, good work ethic. Little bit of, like deep. He's an emotional guy. But been good with geometry, not so much math. A little bit different. So like he's a good carpenter, but it wasn't like an engineering kind of carpentry. It was like he could tell shapes and length very well. Different kind of definitely some opposites in my parents for sure. But yeah, it worked out. I ended up here, and they stuck with each other till the end. But a charmer, I wouldn't say so. I would say so. Sweet man when he got down to it, but he made many, many mistakes. Many, many, and plenty that should have killed him. A couple that should have killed me. Uh, uh, but yeah, yeah. I mean, that's closer. That's closer than some. Yeah, that's closer than some. Like he wasn't ever going to be a writer or sculptor or anything. Like his definitely was buildings. Like that was his thing. That's what he understood. Um, and animals. He got again. He was a bird guy. He wasn't ever really a dog guy or a cat guy or anything. It was like birds. He picked up falconry when he was a teenager. I think his dad had a little bit of that as well. But he jumped into biker culture, right? And those circles can take you a lot of different places. Part of the hippie culture was also biker culture, and that's back when it was kind of interwoven before it had that huge, massive split where basically all that's left of biker culture is the old Nazi culture, which is just shit. Modern biker culture basically is just all off of the Hells Angels or some other gang mentality. When back in the day, it was more just like closer to what cowboy culture was mysticized as, that freedom, that self-reliance, and all of that. It went from Easy Rider to Hell's Angels, basically, very quickly. Meth culture will do that. But yeah, I mean, everybody's got a ride. He had a pretty damn good one, and he always did right by me, even when he was having a hard time himself. Like they were good parents, very good parents. I lucked out. I couldn't have survived any other parents. I'm just as nuts as they are, right? Most others wouldn't have tolerated my ass, and then I wouldn't have tolerated them, and there would have been some problems. Cody narrates his father's origin. The camera slowly bounces out. Flashback transitions. 1947. A train robbery is occurred. 47. Let's see. I think he had his first Model A when he was 10 or 11. He bought it from some dude in Los Angeles, some old garage. Some guy sold it to him for $14. And he would hide this thing. So he'd walk to school, like at least his parents would thought he was walking to school, but he'd walk to where he hid the car behind this billboard, and he'd take the car to school, and he'd drive it back. Different times. The words Tahiti is muttered. We are going to Tahiti, folks. That's what we're doing right now. It's just going to be a long time because we're walking to Tahiti. But yeah, it's weird times. At least I got some of those stories, and I've got others. Some of them I don't know if I would tell on stream, but yeah, I've got other stories. Got a couple I'm involved with, a couple that I'm very glad I wasn't. Like the first time he really got some trouble, like real trouble. Some that like some dishonorable choices that were made, but it's how it goes. My mom had quite a few of her own too. They lived. I'll give them that. They lived probably more than I have so far. In fact, I know they did. They had more of a zest for life. Me, like I'm a relatively comfortable. Weird times are the best times. You hope. Right, where are we at? Oh, we're about to hit 2 hours. And I'm rambling on like life experience. Some point I'll probably talk about these things because there's some fun stories, and there's stories you probably wouldn't get from other people. So maybe at some point I'll tell some of those wilder ones. But and there's some like really heavy ones, and there's it's how it goes. Like I'm sure everybody's got different tales that they've absorbed or been a part of in their family, if they've been blessed enough to get to know them in some form or another, even if those knowings aren't always the best, right? Like a lot of times that just doesn't work. So anyway, folks, It's been 2 hours. I am going to call it, I think. 100 messages in chat. You folks have been wonderful. I've just been rambling. We got some of the stuff I wanted to discuss. Read Your Day of the Life, Coyote Cody. I think that might have been phrased better to communicate to me your idea better. But give it to me, I'll read it if that's what you're asking. If you're asking me to read something now, I don't got it. I'm very confused. But no, I'm gonna call it. I guess I've officially been up about 13 hours now, which doesn't sound that long, but when you only end up sleeping about 4 most nights, it ends up kicking your butt. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna try and figure out dinner, hang out with the pup. Quick chick update. They're doing good. They're very cute. They're growing very quickly. Got them mealworms. They're enjoying their mealworms. So I'll do another update video on them soon. The job situations, like, it's hard. The work got much harder, but it doesn't feel like it's all going to fall apart. It just feels like it's like this is a rough patch, which is a lot different than what it felt like a couple weeks ago, so I'll take it. Yeah, folks, I'll try and catch up again in the next couple days. I still really want to play some more Elden Ring at some point on stream. It just hasn't happened. And hopefully the next update I actually have, like, stuff to update you folks with and not just, like, ramble and such, but we'll see. Anywho, I really appreciate your time, folks. I appreciate your attention. Appreciate your support, your subscriptions, your likes, all that digital energy that you lend me. And I'll catch you again soon, amigos. Take care.